If you're publishing videos on your YouTube channel and they're not going anywhere, it may be because of the ideas you're using for your videos. And I have an easy fix for you. Welcome back, channel makers. I was recently working on a video with Julia that hasn't come out yet, but it will later, where we were rating different things that we do on YouTube, right? All the different skills and all the different things that we try to incorporate in our videos to determine which ones were most important. And you know what? Both of us agreed. The number one most important thing, I'm kind of giving this away. The video will come out later and you're gonna wanna watch it anyway. So there's my plug for the video. Maybe I'll put a link to it once it's there, if I remember. Anyway, the number one most important thing for getting views on YouTube is having good video ideas. But you might look at that and say, okay, but I'm making videos on the same topics as other channels and they're getting hundreds of thousands or millions of views and I'm only getting a few. So what gives? That's what we're going into today. And I'm gonna give you a methodical kind of step-by-step approach for how you can come up with the best, most creative YouTube video ideas and how you're gonna never run out of good ones. So let's dive into that now. The high-level principle is this. A good video idea is actually made up of two things. The first is the topic of the video. That's often the thing that we think of as the video idea. But the second part of it is the delivery. What is the structure of this video and how we're going to deliver it? And that is the part that can take any topic there is and make it really interesting. I want to show you a couple of examples and then we'll dig into more specifically how we do this really well. The first example I want to show you, I literally did a search for this, how to replace a toilet. Now this is a video here from 7 months ago, 37,000 views. Now a lot of you might be like, oh, that'd be awesome. I want 37,000 views on my video. I'll make a video about replacing a toilet. It's only about 3 minutes long. It's very well done, step by step, walks me through it, 37,000 views. So what's the topic of this video? Replacing a toilet. But here's the problem, and here's why this video doesn't have a lot more views, because a lot of people will search this on YouTube. Check it out. There's a video here from Lowe's, 1.4 million views, how to replace and install a toilet. There's how to remove a toilet and how to install a toilet from Home Depot, each with hundreds of thousands of views. This video doesn't stand out compared to those ones. Not to mention, there's some even more interesting ones. And it's not just that there's a lot of competition when we approach topics head on like this, but really, I only have two reasons why I might want to watch this video. The first reason is if I need to replace a toilet, and so I go searching on YouTube or on the internet on how to replace a toilet, and I come across this video. The second thing that has to be true is I have to already not know how to replace a toilet. So that really filters down the number of people that are probably gonna watch this video. So add that to the fact that there's all this competition, and you just don't get the same level of views as a video like this one. This video is another toilet installation guide video, but look at the way it's packaged. It shows me, one, on the thumbnail that something was done wrong. So that catches my eye. We talked about this with thumbnails. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you've got to watch our thumbnail video. It's caught my eye. I see that, okay, wrong, all right. And the guy's got a look on his face like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I keep seeing this mistake. So then I look at the title. 90% of toilets are installed wrong. Here's the right way. In the video, for the most part, he's just gonna show me the right way, but first he's gonna explain to me what it was that other people are doing wrong. Do you see how the delivery of this video is a little bit different? Now think about what that does. I already know how to install a toilet. I actually spent a couple of summers working for a plumber when I was younger and have done this many times. I do a lot of my own plumbing in my own home whenever I need to do a project. I've remodeled bathrooms. I know how to install a toilet, but now I'm questioning myself. Did I do it wrong? If 90% of toilets are installed wrong, maybe I did it wrong. And now I need to watch this video to see why. You see what happened there? The second thing that had to be true for me to want to watch the first video we looked at no longer has to be true. I can already know how to install a toilet, and now I want to see what this guy has to say. One, because maybe I did it wrong, or two, because I want to be able to look at what he's saying and say, forget you, the way I did it's fine. I gotta know what it is that's wrong with what everybody else is doing. Maybe I just want to be validated and know that I'm one of the 10% that does it right. But the other thing is, if I've ever installed a toilet or thought about doing my own bathroom remodel or something, and I come across this video in my feed, I'm more likely to consider watching it even if I don't currently need to replace a toilet, because there's something interesting, something intriguing about it. Now, if I have no interest in replacing toilets, it's not for me. I'm not part of the audience, and it's fine. But do you see how we've broadened the potential audience? Do you see how we've created enough interest that people are probably gonna watch more of the video? When that happens, YouTube can spread it further and further and further. But when nobody's clicking because they don't currently need the thing that you're making a video about, it's not gonna spread. Let me show you another one. This one isn't like a how-to. You can see how like in a how-to tutorial video, yeah, people are only gonna watch if they currently need, the things we just talked about, right? Now this one's more of an interest topic. Look at the title here on this brain one. The psychology behind why we buy luxury goods. Look at how bright the thumbnail is. You'd think that's eye-catching. The psychology behind why we buy luxury goods. Maybe not the best title, but not terrible. This is a 2-year-old video with just over 8,000 views. Well, maybe that seems okay until we compare it to this one. This one from Sabri Suby on how luxury brands brainwash you to buy, 3 months old with 2 million views. What's the difference? It's not just in the packaging. It's also in the approach taken in the video. When I go to this first video, what we see is a lot of B-roll and then some voiceover explaining the psychology. And again, it's interesting, that's cool, but if I don't have a lot of direct interest in the topic, I'm probably not gonna watch very much of this video if I watch it at all. And if I don't watch very much, even if I do click, YouTube doesn't spread it as far. If you can get people to watch longer, YouTube loves that and they push your video to more people. Now in the second video, I did watch this one. In this video, he literally is walking into these stores. He's showing you what the experience looks like when you go to these luxury stores so that you can see all the psychological tricks they're using. He's not just explaining it. He's not just using some B-roll. He's literally walking you through this. Do you see how this video isn't just a teaching video? It's an exploration, an adventure almost type video. Here, he's literally showing you a handbag that costs, I don't know, it was a ridiculous amount of money that it turns out costs like, I don't remember the number, but like it's a $3,500 bag. And the funny thing is other creators had already revealed that this bag only costs $57 to make. So it's not even like he had to do all of this research, but because of the way he's presenting this as this story where it's all unraveling, it comes across completely different from the other Psychology of Luxury Brands video. And that's the difference between this 2 million view video, which is an outlier even on his channel, versus the other video with fewer than 9,000 views. So look, coming up with a great idea for a video, a great concept that you could turn into an outline that's an amazing story, it's not very hard. It just requires a few steps. Now, success on YouTube definitely is more than just ideas. Obviously, that video was done really well, but so were some of the other ones that didn't do that well on YouTube. But still, knowing how to make good thumbnails, write good titles, knowing what videos to make and when, how often to publish, so many pieces of the YouTube journey that it's hard to piece together if you're trying to figure this out on your own. That's why we just published a video earlier this week that walks you through our entire strategy, step by step, how we help people build successful YouTube channels. In that, we do talk about our system in Project 24 that teaches all of this in great detail. In fact, we have multiple lessons about what I'm teaching you today about ideas, where we can actually dive into it in even more detail. So I invite you to go check that out. I will put a link to that video in a pinned comment in the description. In fact, at the end of this video, I'll put a box here and you'll be able to go over to that video and watch it. But first, let's walk through how we're going to come up with great video ideas. The first step, choose a topic. The topic should be something that does have interest for your audience, but it doesn't matter that much what it is beyond that. I have a channel about preparedness. I can make a video about canning peaches. There are probably hundreds of videos. I've seen many, but there are probably hundreds of videos across all of YouTube about how to can peaches. Some of them have got a lot of views. So how do I make a video about canning peaches that stands out? Well, we need to take that a step further. So start with a simple topic, any topic that will be interesting to who your intended audience is. Again, I can show you the steps to can peaches, but how do we make that more interesting? Start by finding a unique angle about the topic or a unique question about the topic. With Sabri Suby, it was about how these brands are brainwashing you, and that was the start. And then the whole video felt like this expose rather than just an explanation of psychology. Do you see the difference? With the toilet one, it wasn't just about here's how to replace a toilet. It was you're probably doing it wrong. And not only you're doing it wrong, but the person who installed your toilet before probably did it wrong. Let me tell you how to do it right. That's a different angle. That's a different question maybe than just how to install a toilet. We need to come up with a better delivery for that topic other than just kind of the obvious one. There are a lot of different delivery types. You can have an adventure type video, or advice and inspiration can work, but let's get creative in how we're gonna deliver that advice. You could do your video as a challenge. So instead of canning peaches, maybe there's gonna be something about canning peaches that's going to make it particularly challenging. To see if we can do maybe a certain number of peaches in a certain amount of time, simplify the process. You see how that has a value proposition for people canning peaches? He's gonna make it easier for me. But also, maybe that makes it more entertaining for people that maybe aren't currently needing to see how to can peaches. We could take a concept that's normally pretty straightforward and mundane, and we could make comedy or satire out of it. Some people have really successful channels doing this. We can do some exploration or expose like what Sabri Subi did. Or you can take a reaction approach. There are numerous different ways to approach a video. So the next step is to consider these different options, consider even more, and then I want you to do an idea flow exercise. Idea flow, it comes from this book, Idea Flow. It's a concept we learned from our friend Jeremy Utley, who teaches at the Stanford D School. This is an idea person, the idea person. But the concept is pretty simple. We start by setting a timer. Maybe it's 5 minutes. Maybe you need a little bit more if you haven't done this much before. Then, while that time runs, you need to write down every single idea that comes to your mind. Do not judge your ideas. Just write them down. The problem is when we judge an idea from the beginning, we say, oh, that's a good idea, or ooh, that's a bad idea. It limits our reasoning. When you think that's a good idea, your mind goes, phew, and it tunnel visions on that idea. When you think this is a bad idea, it rejects it, which also prevents you from thinking of any other ideas that were closely related to it. And the idea process shuts down. Write down everything for at least 5 minutes that comes to your mind. Different ways that you could deliver the information on a specific topic. Then I want you to think about your audience, go through this list of ideas that you've just generated. It's amazing how often we're able to come up with a list of 30 or 40 ideas in just 5 minutes. Like literally, we just did this earlier this week. And now when we consider the audience and we look at our ideas, we can start to maybe just circle the ones that feel like they could be a match. Is this a delivery style that would work with the audience that I'm intending to attract? If you want a pretty serious audience and you're wanting to teach things in a serious way, probably don't do comedy and satire so much. But you could take an exploration approach or a challenge approach or any number of other approaches to make the concept a little bit more interesting, a little more entertaining, so that people are likely to watch even if it's not information they need in the moment. We go to YouTube for information we need, but more often than not, we go there because we want to enjoy ourselves. It's more for entertainment than anything else. Now, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to comment on this video. No, seriously, please do this. Come up with something that feels like a fairly ordinary, everyday, maybe mundane topic. And I want you to write a comment that is just, that's the topic. And then what I'd love you to do is comment on other people's mundane topics with different ideas that come to your mind for how that could be delivered. If we all do this for each other, it doesn't even have to be for your channel. This is just an exercise. This is a perfect opportunity to practice this exact concept. Write down some mundane ideas right here in the comments, and then come up with ideas in response to other people's mundane topics for how they could be delivered in a more interesting way. Let's get some practice in, let's support each other, and then I want you to go do this on your channel, take your ideas to the next level, and then you'll realize you could make 50 videos on the exact same topic, delivered 50 different ways, and they'd be 50 different videos. Now, you have unending creativity. You're welcome. And as soon as you're done writing your comments, what I want you to do is go watch that video, because it's gonna teach you how to YouTube. It's gonna give you the timeline, the process, everything you need to do. So go check that out. We'll see you there.